The dictionary defines freak as to behave or cause to behave in a wild and irrational way, typically because of the effects of extreme emotion. Welcome to the Freak Show. For freaks, by a freak. No matter what it is in life you want to be, a lead freak, a sales freak, a marketing freak, a book freak, a health freak, we're going to get you obsessed and 100% committed. Let's get freaky. Welcome to the Freak Show with Aiden R.I.G.G. Rid.
All right. Hello. Now, today we are going to talk about tactic number 17. Now, there are a few tactics that are within each other, so it's going to appear to be tactic number 11, but we'll see that in the graph later. What we're going to talk about is we have, up to this point, we got a strategy, we understand value, we understand our story, we understand inbound, we understand outbound and how to get the leads. And we understand that we need to have a pseudo email address. We need to authenticate that email address. And then we have our program, right? We have Lead Freak, right? We have whatever program you're going to use. We want to do A/B testing, optimize, and campaign optimizer. And we want to understand how to write that sales copy, okay? So now that you've written a sales copy, what we want to do is the last step before we start sending stuff out. Again, you're only going to do this once, right? Once it's set up, you'll tweak things here and there, but once you follow the tactics 1 through 21, then once it's set up, you're done. You just put the leads into the system and it just works itself. Yes, you're going to fine tune and you're going to go over things. You're going to A/B test. You're going to campaign optimize, those type of things. But that's where we're at. So where are we at right now? Well, we are at the point where we are going to check the validity of our email. So we've created an email according to what we talked about with the sales copy, right? Problem, agitate, call to action, a solution, a micro commitment, right? So we're there. We're ready to send, but we're going to do one thing before we send it, before we put into the process and it just starts being on autopilot. What is that? What does that look like? What are we going to do? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to check it for spam. We're going to make sure that our message doesn't have the spam words in it that are going to create barriers and have the search engine say, oh, this is spam, and put it into the spam folder. Even though we've done everything we can, right? We've authenticated, we have done everything we can. We want to take all the risks out and make sure that we're going to hit someone's inbox. So let's begin. How do we do that? Now, I can't speak for other programs. I can only speak for Lead Freak, but utilizing and using Lead Freak, what we're going to do is we have written our email. You're going to see we've written our email right here, okay? So you're going to see right here, it says check your message for spam scoring. Okay, so what does that mean? What it means is that we have created our message, okay, and this is just an example email for today's purpose, okay, and what we want to do is we want to check it for spam and whether or not it's going to be labeled a spam and what is it going to tell us? What can we do to improve it so that we can have the highest expectation and highest likelihood of hitting an inbox? So all we have to do is click that. It says, now this may take a few minutes to complete. So while it's doing this, taking a few minutes to complete, let's take a look from our sponsor
The one thing that companies need to survive is new business. But cold calling has less than a 2% success rate. And with the demands on salespeople's time to prospect, close new businesses, and maintain existing accounts are simply unrealistic in today's fast-paced, hyper-competitive market. Introducing LeadFreak, using AI to automate your prospecting using our built-in templates, newsletters, and videos to engage your leads. Automate top-of-the-funnel processes so you can focus your time on warm prospects that are familiar with your brand and have demonstrated interest. With social media, lead capture, emails, SMS, and phone capabilities, all your interactions live in one unified view. You no longer have to guess which leads are hot and most likely to convert. LeadFreak provides you with this data and notifies your salespeople which leads are actively engaging with your brand. Sign up for a free trial today. LeadFreak.ai. You're only one lead from gold.
For the freaks. For the freaks. By a freak. By a freak. You're listening to The Freak Show with Aiden R.I.G.G. Rigg.
All right. Welcome back. Now, this is going to be a shorter episode today. Let's see if, while we have done that, where we might be with our authentication. So there we go. I'm going to make the screen bigger for you. And let's take a look. So it's showing us that advanced email scan complete. DKMS, the records are present and set. SPF, we talked about that in previous segments. So now we're going to go down and we're going to look at link quality. Okay, so everything seems somewhat okay. It's going to take another few minutes to get a detailed report and recommendations. So let's click this and see what's going to happen. It's going to take a few minutes for this to it's sending it to forensics right now as we speak, and it's going to take a few moments or even minutes to get there. So I want to take this time to recognize where we've gone to at this point, right? Where are we in the process? Because once you realize where we are in the process, we are at tactic number 17, right? We have our pseudo email. We've authenticated, right? We have our program. We've chosen our program that we want to use. And we are now ready to rock and roll. So let's take a look at what that might mean for us. So let's go into here. I'm going to stop sharing. And it's opened itself up into a new page. I'm going to open that page. Okay. See if you see what I see. Yes, you do. So what you're going to see here is that I'm going to actually make this bigger. What we're going to see here is that, and this is not meant to spend all the time going over everything for you. We want to look and see, okay, where are we? So we have a 77. It's saying that we have a 77.07% deliverability. Okay, so deliverability fairness is fair. Okay, we have above average in the industry and the topics that we're using, and then it's saying that really we're just below average. So this is actually not too bad. We'll go back to this in a second. Okay, we have our 4 categories. We have data collections. Okay, problematic link to the emails. So they're saying there's a link in there that might be problematic. Okay, they're saying there's the database seems fine. The copyright on that, they're saying there's some words here that we might want to look at. Okay, so it's really, if you look here, it's really talking about some of the dimensions, and there's not a lot we can do that. We're at a 0, so this is not really something I'm going to worry about because it's not going to jeopardize much. It's in the green. Okay, we could spend all day paralysis by analysis. But if we look at the copyright and vocabulary, is there anything that we can do here? Okay, The interesting point about all outcomes is that cleaning doesn't provide a fresh environment to work in. So it's saying that wording, we might want to reword that a bit. A personal favorite is reputation risk. So it's saying that those bring the word risk here. You see how it says risk here? They're saying that some of these words here are not as good. You see it says company. Okay, now that company name, that is filled in there. So that's automatic. So we can't change that. But we might want to just rewrite this a bit. And we might want to rewrite this a bit. But again, we're at a 77% deliverability. It's not too bad. It's pretty good. And we can't spend all day going out, but we can do things to make it better. You see that SPF, okay? It shows that we're done, that the records are present, set correctly, so that's good, right? Set correctly, that's good. And I want you to recognize that we're only going to have to do this once, okay? Just once. Once it's done once, we're good. We don't have to retype the email, right? We might tweak it here and there, but we just don't need to do too much. We're good. We don't need to go do too much here. I click out of here. So you might want to tweak the wording a little bit. And these two things, that's going to improve the deliverability. But you're still at pretty decent. You're at a 77% deliverability rate. That doesn't mean that you're only going to get 77%. It just means that you're doing pretty good. Recommend action, optimize. So it wants you to do that. So you might spend a few minutes changing that and tweaking it a little bit. But I hope you can see here that what we're doing is we are getting some data, right? We are allowed to look around and see that we have authenticated our email. We have checked it for spam. Yeah, we can improve it a bit, and I would improve it a bit. But I want you to be aware that you can do this inside of LeadFreak. I'm sure other programs have it as well. But you're now set, right? You are going to do that for all your emails, your prospect emails. In LeadFreak, we have 8 predominantly. So once you type those, you're going to check them, you're going to tweak them, and then after that's done, you don't need to worry about it because you authenticate it. You got those initial emails going out, which is we're going to do the spam test, and then as we get into some of the other features, we don't need to do this. Right? When we get into the lead nurture, things like that, we don't need to do this. We are set and ready to go. So I hope you can see that we are now ready to rock and roll. We have authenticated our Pursuo email. We have authenticated it. We've got our program. We've optimized it with subject lines. We have the subject lines that are going to work the best. We've written some sales copy, which is problem, agitate, and a micro commitment. We've checked it for spam, and now we are ready to launch. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to launch in this. This next tactic, which we will address next week. I hope you have found this of value. Please remember to like, forward, suggest, subscribe, and I will see you.
You've been listening to The Freak Show. Our passion is to help people recognize that they can be, have, or do whatever they want. But it takes drive. You gotta be a freak. Aiden was homeless on welfare, got his GED, went to business school, and has a freakish drive that's propelling him to success he couldn't have dreamt of. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit the website at www.aidenrig.com and hit us up on all the socials at AidenRig, RIGG. See you next time, you freak.